Would you turn in your brother if you knew he was a criminal? My brother Freddie wasn't a good person. I was 4 years old when I saw him hit our mom for the first time. He was 9 at the time and slapped her hard across the face. Then he punched her in the stomach when she tried to punish him. Mom never told me, but I knew she was afraid of him ever since that day. I was 10 when I came home from school to find Mom on the floor, unconscious and beaten with Freddie standing over her, holding a knife. We buried her the next day, and of course Dad was at the office and couldn't come to his wife's funeral. He never wanted kids, so now he was forced to be a dad to 2 kids whose mom just died. I was terrified of Freddie, but he never touched me. And when he would fight with Dad, Dad would fight back. They'd often get into fistfights that would knock over furniture. Freddie went from getting in trouble at home to breaking the law, but he always got away with it. Whenever there was a break-in, I somehow knew it was Freddie. I didn't know what to do. One day when I came home from school, the police were waiting in the house. As soon as they saw me, they stood up and asked my name. I nodded. "What's this about?" The taller one stepped forward. "You're under arrest for all the thefts in town," he said, grabbing my shoulder and slamming me against the nearby wall, slapping handcuffs on my wrists. "This is a mistake," I yelled. "Freddie, tell them!" But my brother stood to the side with a strange look on his face, something that told me he had to be behind everything. He smirked at me when the cops had their backs turned. I was furious. That was the moment I knew that he didn't truly love me. The cops dragged me out of the house while I was screaming that I didn't do anything, but they didn't listen. They shoved me into the back of a police car and drove me to the nearest police station. I was shoved into an interrogation room immediately. "We know the truth," the taller cop told me. "Your brother showed us the evidence in your room. You stole game consoles from Walmart, among other things. You're done, kid." I leaned forward with a hard face. "I told you I didn't do this," I snarled. "But I know who did. I will tell you the truth if you let me go." The cops ignored me and continued to question me. When that didn't work, they resorted to threats and anger. I hunched in on myself and stared down at the table, keeping my mouth shut until they finally left with frustrated grunts. I felt like I was in the interrogation room for hours, until finally one of the cops came into the room and released me. "Your brother is here," he said, leading me into another empty room. Freddie stood against the far wall with his arms folded against his chest. The cop left me alone in the room with him. Freddie glanced at the camera before stepping toward me with cruelty in his eyes. "Just tell the truth," he said in a low voice. "Tell them how you stole that stuff and I found it in your room and tried to get you to take that stuff back." I stared at my brother for a moment before nodding slowly. "Okay," I said. "I'll tell them the truth." He sighed in relief and pulled me into a stiff hug. "Good," he whispered in my ear as the door opened and the same cop grabbed my arm. I ended up in the interrogation room again with the cops facing me. "Well?" demanded the taller cop. I took a deep breath and told them everything. How Freddie used to beat our mom and eventually killed her. I told them how he would get into fights with our dad. I told them every store he stole from, and that I knew what storage unit he had where he kept all the stolen things. I followed him to the storage unit once, and I knew Dad would testify against Freddie as a witness. The cops stared at me with jaws dropped and wide eyes, stunned, silent. Then chaos erupted. The cops arrested my older brother. Dad was a witness at his trial. I was released from jail with a clean record and all charges dropped, and Freddie lost everything.